Welcome to this screencast. We are looking at some past exam questions in the 2.1 algorithm section of your GCSE in Computer Science. And here you are given a flowchart. And from that flowchart, you're going to have to write the pseudocode. We haven't really spent a long time learning about flowcharts because we've used pseudocodes in your coursework. So what do we see in this flowchart over here? There's not many instructions in this flowchart. You've got two inputs, then there's that thing in the middle, and then you've got some outputs. Now, input and output in pseudocode, just like in flowcharts, you use the keyword input and then the name of a variable or whatever data you've got afterwards. What we've got in the middle here, you've got two diamonds. Now, diamonds are decision points. They are decision points, and then the decision can be either true or false. So when do you have a decision in Python in what you know because you've been coding it for now 4 or 5 years? That can be an if statement or that can be a loop. The condition in a loop can be true or false, which is what we've got here. The difference in a flowchart is if it was a loop, you would have a branch of a loop going back above so that the decision point can be checked again and again and again until the condition becomes true and you exit the loop. So as no branch here goes back before the decision point, it is not a loop. So if it's not a loop, it's got to be an if. So this algorithm over there is very simple. Two inputs, a bunch of outputs, two if statements. You've been coding things like that for a long time now. There's nothing in here that can be a real challenge for you. So now let's write this into this Word document. I've got a keyboard next to me over here. And if you remember when you planned your coursework a year ago, we write in capital letters for our pseudocode. So I've got my two inputs, and what I now need is some if statement. And you should also remember that the if statement has got to be indented. The condition is x more than y, and after that I've got my indent. If x is more than y, I'm doing this here. Now this is another if statement, so it's going to be nested inside the first one. Another if, x less than 12, and more indent. So right now, the line I'm about to write here, which is the true instructions in the second if, has got to be indented again. I'm doing another tab on my keyboard, and then I've got output x, still in capital letters. Now I need to deal with this branch, the false, and that's done with else. Output y. Oh, let's not forget the indent. And that's the end of this if. So notice how I'm very carefully indenting. So all of this is that one if statement. And that one if statement, the second one, is the true branch of the first one. So the first one is going to start here and finish further down there. And the first one is that one. So let's go back to the Word document. Now that I'm doing the false for the first if statement, my else has got to be lined with its corresponding if. And this time we output x times y. So let's recap. I'm going to show the tabs so you can see the indentation. So notice how I've used my tabs. Now, those of you doing the exams without the benefit of a computer, you will have to line it up, use a pencil, use a ruler, but make sure it's all lined up so we can see it very well. Now, for the nested if, it's indented, all of it is indented once. So all of it is indented once, and the true and the false are indented twice. For the first if, it's lined up like this. So the else is lined up with the and if is lined up with the if. I look forward to seeing how you're using that in the classroom when we are going to do this kind of exercise in order to prepare you for your end of year assessment.